How do we get trauma bonded? The early stage, which you may all resonate with, the narcissist finds you. You meet the narcissist, and the intense love bombing starts. The narcissist mirrors you, becomes a reflection of you, and you start feeling affection towards them because there's a principle of familiarity present in the process. You feel connected with them because they make you feel connected through their charm, through their presence, through their capability, which of course is feigned. It's false, it's not true, but they kind of feign this capability of being concerning, of being caring, kind, affectionate, present, however the narcissist presented him or herself to be. And at this point, they idealize you, they make you the love of their life, they make you feel like you have found this person that you have been looking for throughout your life. You feel like you have come across this person who is the answer to your questions that you have had throughout your life. You feel like this person is going to fix it all for you. You feel like this person is the person of your dreams. In fact, they promise dreams. What they end up doing later is different because they end up delivering a nightmare. But here, they future fake. They delude you. They cast an illusion of this perfect family that you could possibly have with them in the future. Children, you two together, the family, the concept of togetherness. They find out what your values are. If your value is authenticity, honesty, if it is connection, if it is integrity, whatever it is, they copy them. They try to pretend, they rather pretend to have the same values, and you feel a deep soul connection with them at this point. Now, I need to also mention this, that in this stage of idealization, when they meet you, when they love bomb you intensely, they idealize you, it may not always happen the traditional way, the way I described it. It could be different, meaning they may come across as this victim, as this person who is in distress, in a lot of pain, and they need saving. They may talk about their exes, how they have been wronged by them, how they have been called crazy. They would basically call their exes crazy, directly or indirectly, and they would create this complex. They would trigger this savior complex in you, and you feel compelled out of your empathy, out of your compassion, to save them, to rescue them. And if you have that trauma pattern from the childhood, of course they would activate it. They have this predatory sense, you and I both know, and that is what would get activated, and the connection would form. You would feel like they have peeked into your soul, they have looked into you, and the connection is irresistible because the things happen quite fast. The intensity is beyond what I can explain in words right now, and the things happen every single day. Today you are the friend, today you met this person, tomorrow they are the soulmate, and the next day they want to get married and they want to be with you for the rest of your life. In short, you get to see the angelic side here of the narcissist. But as time goes on, of course, you feel special. When the narcissist feels they have established the control over you, when they feel they have the grip over you now, the grip they wanted to have, when they feel you are in the trap, when they know you have fallen for them and you would not leave the relationship so easily, that is when the mask slips. It may not fall fully, but that is when it slips, and you get to see the monstrous side, the real side, which shocks you to your core. Because this is not what you settled for. This is not what you signed up for. The deal was a different kind of deal. You fell in love with a different kind of person. You never knew that they could be this. And as a form of coping mechanism, adaptation, call whatever you want it to, your brain activates denial in the moment, because when they start devaluing you, they may start ignoring you, they may stop texting you as promptly as they used to, they may stop calling you, they may start putting you down, they may start belittling you. If it is an overt narcissist, it can happen in overt ways. They may start blaming you, pointing out flaws in you. The same things that they adored in you now become the things that they devalue you for. How crazy is that? If it is a covert narcissist, subtle remarks, dark humor, passive aggression, silent treatment, stonewalling, all of that might start, and that is how the crazy making begins. This extreme confusion and pain in mixture induces the cognitive dissonance. Like, that is where it really gets triggered. Cognitive dissonance is something that we'll talk about later. At this point, the narcissist shows you this face or this side of theirs, and you're taken aback, you're shook. Now, there are two possibilities. You either try to seek explanation, you ask them questions, you really are shaken by this experience. You may either leave, which that doesn't happen in almost every case of narcissistic abuse. The other possibility is you may try to fix the situation. You may try to bring back the partner, bring back the person that you fell in love with. You may try to restore homeostasis. How would you do that? You would give more. You would try more. You would basically try to become a doormat. You would try to rescue them more. You would do what they want you to do. And that is where they start gaslighting you, manipulating you. That is where they start making you think and believe that you are the problem. You are the issue in this relationship, which is why I behaved this way, which is why I acted this way. Had you not done this, I wouldn't have even thought of doing this or behaving this way. You are the cause. At this point, because you don't know about gaslighting, you don't know about narcissistic abuse, you don't know what this is, you're in a lot of pain and suffering, you are confused, you're anxious, you're dysregulated. This is where the dysregulation happens or begins, which we'll talk about again later. But you're in a lot of pain, you want to fix things, and you do so because of the gaslighting, because of the things they do. And now at the same time, you need to know that this is the point where your trauma patterns get activated from the childhood. If you had a condescending, an abusing, a neglectful, an abandoning narcissistic parent, you had to please them, you had to fawn to coexist with them, or you had to hide, or you had to give more and more, and you had to self-sacrifice, self-sabotage. All of those patterns that you can think of get activated here. And guess what? You now are in a relationship with your parent, of course unconsciously, but you don't know that. What makes it really difficult for you, this is one of the factors which we'll again talk about later, but this is what makes it really difficult for you to take a step back and to move on, to leave the relationship. And this is what gets you stuck. Childhood trauma in itself is not the reason why you end up in a relationship like this. Childhood trauma instead is the cause why you stay for a prolonged duration, why you don't leave early. Just know that. That is the real understanding of it. It's not the cause, because if we say it is your own trauma, it is your own history that made you choose a partner like this, we are unconsciously or unintentionally blaming the victim. The idea is that it gets activated, all of those adaptations, because the stimuli, the same environment, you have the procedural memory in the body, you have the neural pathways. So of course your body, as a part of its evolution, it knows what to do, how to cope, so it would activate the same. Moving forward from there, the moment narcissist shows you that dark side, starts devaluing you, you try to fix it. You fix it, and the narcissist becomes that good version again to prevent the loss of supply. They want to stop you from leaving the relationship. Somehow they justify it, somehow they make you believe it was your fault. You try to fix things, they are in the good mood again. They are this charming, kind, present, whosoever they pretended to be in the beginning, they are that person again. And you're like, finally, they're back, who they used to be. This is where it gets messy. The more you go through this cycle of hot and cold behavior, they are this monster, you fix them or things get justified and they show you this glimpse of this good side again, you fall for it, you restore the homeostasis. The more you go through this cycle, the more your inner systems get dysregulated. The more they get dysregulated, the more you get stuck in this relationship, because there is a lot that happens deep down. Just you need to know that this intermittent reinforcement, the high highs and the low lows, when you are in the low lows, they give you this breadcrumb, they throw it at your face, you have it, you feel it's more than enough, and you have a high high and then low low. This creates psychoneurochemical changes in your body and brain, which leads to the creation of an addiction like phenomena that we call trauma bonding. You get essentially addicted to the presence of this person for your regulation. I'll give you an example later, but just understand, this is the dichotomy here. This is the mindfuckery here. This person, the narcissist, is the person who abuses you, tortures you, devalues you, is the source of your pain. But when they show you this nice side, when they throw a breadcrumb at you, when they become this nice person again, they become the source of your regulation in that moment. So this dichotomous experience, this dual opposite experience, you are experiencing it with the same person, and your brain cannot make sense of how the same person can be both the baddie and the goodie. How can it come from the both? And that is where the cognitive and emotional dissonance basically sprouts and grows bigger and bigger the more you go through these cycles. Because it is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, that kind of situation here, and that is what creates the compartmentalization of experiences. The more the compartmentalization, the more the repetition of the cycle, the more the reinforcement of addiction, the alteration in your brain, which again I'll talk about, the more in the alteration of your hormonal profile, the more the alteration in your nervous system, the more intense the trauma bonding.